What myth sounds ridiculous but is still believed by many people? My neighbor, who runs a construction business, complained that the moon faded the paint of his front door. Usually when I hear such nonsense from older folks, I just nod because it's almost impossible to change their mind and they'll just get angry over it. This one caught me completely by surprise though, and I burst out laughing. He tried to explain that the light of the moon has a bleaching effect on paint, house, car, outdoor furniture, and clothing left outside at night. I tried to explain to him that the moon doesn't emit any light and just reflects the light of the sun. That light is way weaker than direct sunlight. You only utilize X% of your brain. Marilyn Manson and his rib. You really don't have to wait 24 hours to file a missing persons report. When you swallow gum, it stays in your gastrointestinal tract for 7 years. Korean fan death. It's been going on for 90 years. And is so ingrained in Korean culture that as late as 2006, the Korea Consumer Protection Board, a government-funded entity, put out a warning that fan death was among South Korea's 5 most common summer accidents or injuries. It was not. That cops are legally obliged to identify as cops whenever asked, even if they are undercover. You swallow up to 4 spiders per year in your sleep. It's not exactly a myth. It's a study about how fast rumors spread. That ear candling does anything useful. Amazes me that people fall for that sheet. Same with the cloth pads you stick to your feet to absorb toxins while you sleep. You have to wait an hour after eating before swimming or you will get cramps. The paramedics are less likely to save you if you are an organ donor. IDK how people believe this sheet. But it has actually discouraged a few of my friends and their parents from becoming organ donors. Shaving your facial hair does not make it grow back faster longer. Natural means healthy and processed means unhealthy. Great Wall of China is not visible from space. MLM essential oil moms who believe the oils penetrate your cells to change your DNA. My parents say that if I sit on a cold floor I can't have kids. Also if I walk on the kitchen floor, it's tile, I will get sick. Sorry for the bad grammar. I left my brain somewhere. That the average medieval sword weighs 40 pounds. They don't weigh anywhere near that. The average medieval sword weighs about 2.5 minus 3 pounds and 50 pence. That the ring finger is the ring finger because it has a vein going directly to your heart. As opposed to all the other veins that spiral off into the other, I suppose? That women's vages stretch out and become roast beef like if they've had lots of sexual partners. But not if they have lots of sex with one man. Like somehow vages are supercomputers that can scan big digs, and if it's not the same one that's always been going in there, it just decides to stretch out. Carrots make your eyesight better. It was a lie made up during WW2 by the British to hide the fact that they had radar. They just said that their spotters were so excellent because they ate carrots. That cold water boils faster than hot water. And no, I'm not talking about the Mpemba effect, which is conditionally true, but relates to freezing, not boiling. Eating disorders are not just about the food. Many people think eating disorders can be cured by just eating a burger. Also, contrary to popular belief, people of all genders and sizes can have eating disorders. That we only use 33% of traffic lights. Here in Hong Kong people always say cold water makes you sick. Is this a myth or have I been lied to? Wikipedia is always full of untrue things 100% of the time. The principle on which homeopathy is based. Masturbating causes hair loss. The government equips aircraft to disperse chemicals in the form of vaporized liquids in order to control people's thoughts, cause diseases, and reduce birth rates. Those white trails you see behind planes in the sky are from the hot engine exhaust condensing in the freezing cold sky 35,000 feet above the earth. If you pee in the pool, the water will change color. Better can live in tiny bowls unfiltered and not eat it. Animals' moms won't come back and care for a baby if a human touched it. This was most widely spread with baby birds. Instincts to care for the young are stronger than the baby smelling like humans. This is one from England. But black cats are unlucky. This myth still goes on today and people are unlikely to adopt black cats apparently. Naturally, this is BS. The earth is flat and vaccines give people autism. The government in this town is excellent and uses your tax dollars efficiently. That those amber bead necklaces help with teething. GMOs are bad. Everything we eat or have as pets or grow as decoration is genetically modified. Look at corn from its original shape to now. We modified it to suit our needs. Without genetic modification we wouldn't have the animals, vegetables and ornamental plants we have today. Carrots help you see German planes in the dark. The government is recording every single cell phone call you make. I mean, it's totally happening. But still sounds crazy. That the skinny, healthy looking person who took the handicapped spot and isn't visibly limping or wearing a cast, or traveling with someone in a wheelchair isn't actually handicapped, and is clearly lying in a lazy sheet. I have a nervous system disorder. Sharon. My heart rate is 145 just standing here. School prepares you for life. Air bubbles in clay don't cause explosions in the kiln. Water does. Clay is porous so air won't do any harm. But if you don't let your work dry all the way before firing, the water will boil and you can ruin your work. Napoleon was short. It literally was a rumor started by his enemies that ended up in history. You don't catch colds from being cold or in the rain. A lot of people believe that colds come from standing in the rain. But it's not true. Being cold makes you more susceptible to catching a cold since low temperatures can make your immune system less effective. But coldness itself isn't a cause of catching a cold. 'Tis a myth. The eagle has to pluck out all of its feathers and bash its own beak off against a rock if it wants to live to be 100. There's a popular video online about this. And nowhere on the video does it say that the information is fake. But it is. It's created as a tool for science teachers to explain how easily you can find fake information. And the lack of any "this is fake" notes is so kids won't look it up and learn the truth before their teacher can inform them the next day. Despite that, tons of people still fall for that video. And some people out of the know play it. You only use 10% of your brain. And chemtrails. Likely thought of by people who actually only use 10% of their brain. Having a lot of sex makes your vag loosen. Also that shaving makes your hair grow back thicker and darker. Masturbating will make you go blind. Slavery wasn't that bad, they were like family. Yeah? Family you raped, beat and starved, and whose kids your kids you sold. Raped. Beat. And starved. Considering that children count as people. Santa Claus. Ever since the majority of homes and apartments don't have fireplaces and toys have been mass produced and widely available year round. I don't see how the mythology works, which is basically how I figured it out early. The magic of him getting it done all in a single night. I never had an issue with. It's magic. It was much more shattering to the mythos to be asked to believe that elves made the same metal toys and huffy bicycles that I'd seen in the store. I can absolutely imagine buying into it when fireplaces heated the majority of homes and toys were carved from wood and not found in their own stores, let alone grocery stores. Using your phone at a gas station can cause a huge explosion. Mormonism. People believe that Joseph Smith literally found and translated golden plates that no one was allowed to see except him. After he was done, God took away the plates. Sorry Mormons. I mean, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is. It's all a hoax made up by Joseph for money and sex. Full stop. Fun fact. Blood is actually blue and only turns red when exposed to oxygen. My high school forensics teacher, who also taught biology. I brought this up to my friends afterwards without correcting the teacher. And they all legit sided with her argument until I googled the proof. I'm so disappointed in society. Edit, left out word teacher. LSD gets stored in your spine forever and cracking your back can cause random flashbacks. How wild that even happen. It gets metabolized within hours and psychedelic flashbacks and even a thing. Everyone before Columbus thought the earth was flat. Even during the Renaissance. When the church was persecuting Galileo and burning people for saying the sun was the center of the solar system. They believed the earth was round. The myth that everyone thought the earth was flat started in the 1820s by Washington Irving. Also, although the chronometer hadn't been invented yet, which lets sailors know their longitude, people have been sailing beyond the horizon for thousands of years. In fact, the supposition that the ancients hugged the coastline BC though they might fall off the edge of the earth is patently absurd. And obviously manufactured by someone who had no concept of leeway. The amount a sailboat is pushed sideways by wind. If the boat stayed within sight of land and the wind shifted direction, they would almost certainly wreck. That vaccines cause autism. How is anyone that dumb? And because of idiots who believe this, diseases that were almost unheard of in first world countries are spreading and putting people who are young, elderly and immunosuppressed at risk of serious illness or death. Should be criminal. That 9/11 was an inside job. You mean to tell me that the US government pulled off the worst terror attack in the country's history? Yet there's never been a whistleblower before the attack or in the 17 years since? That alone is more far-fetched than anything else about the attacks or the events leading up to them. Anyone can become rich under capitalism if they work hard enough. Hard work is necessary but not sufficient. I agree that too few individuals recognize the systems around them need to be designed to reward HRS work. Some systems do not. The 12-6 elbow ban in modern MMA rules. Just because the misinformed judges at the Athletic Commission saw karate experts at 2 AM break boards with their elbows, it's mostly treated wooden stage magic, they think it's a lethal strike. The only loss for John Jones was because of that stupid rule.